Okay, this is our group report. Effecting of waxing on perishable commodity. This is our group member. Introduction. External appearance is an important attribute for overall fruits and vegetables quality. It is the first attribute that buyers notice. Although there may not always be a correlation between external appearance and edible quality, visual appeal of the product is the powerful characteristic is determining market acceptance. Many consumers prefer produce with shiny or glossy appearance. Various types of wax and edible surface coating may be applied for fruits and vegetables to improve the cosmetic features, shiny color of the products. Waxing is recommended only for good quality products because does not improve the quality of inferior ones. This is done to supplement or replace the natural wax on the surface of the commodity, which may be removed during cleaning and packing. Waxing consists of applying a thin layer of edible wax to the outer surface of the product. The benefits obtained by the product from waxing include an improved appearance, less moisture loss, and shining or ceramic, reduce post-harvest decay, and a longer shelf life. This may be attributed to several factors, including the lack of awareness of the beneficial effects of waxing, lack of ability to food-grade wax, lack of appropriate information on the technology of waxing, and additional cost of application. This is the tomato solving in week 1. The T1R1, they have wax 255 gram equals computation of tomato. They have 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 divide 3 equals 2 in T1R1 for wax commodity. In T2R2 for controlled, they have 270 grams. 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 divide 3 equals 2. 2 in controlled. T2R1 275 grams for wax commodity. The computation is 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 divide 3 equals 7. 7 divide 3 equals 2.3 for wax. In controlled T2R2, they have 260 grams. Computation is 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 3 times 1 divide 3 equals 8. 8 divide 3 equals 2.67. This is the graph of tomato in week 1. T1 wax, T2 wax, and T1 controlled and T2 controlled. For cucumber in week 1, cucumber computation. T1R1 320 grams for wax. The computation is 1 times 1 equals I divide 3 I divide 1 sana man eh. Divide 1 equals 9 for wax. In T2R2 they have 320 grams in controlled. 1 times 9 equals 1 times 9 divide 1 equals 9 for controlled. In T2R1 for wax they have 485 grams. The computation is 1 times 9 plus 2 times 7 divide 2 equals 23. 23 divide 2 equals 11.5 for wax in T2R1. For control, T2R2, they have 480 grams. Computation is 1 times 9 plus 2 times 9 divide 2 equals 27. 27 divide 2 equals 13.5 for control in T2R2. The graph of T2R2 they have in week 1. The graph of cucumber in week 1. This is T1R1 for wax, T1R2 for controlled, T2R1 for wax, and T2R2 for controlled. Anthurium computation in week 1. They have T1R1. They have 320 grams for wax. Computation is 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 divide 2 equals 1.5 in T1R1 for wax. In T2R2, they have 320 grams for controlled. Computation is 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2 divide 2 equals 1.5. In T2R1, they have 485 grams for wax. 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 divide 2 equals 1.5 in T2R1 for wax. In T2R2 for control, they have 480 grams equals 1 times 1 plus 2 times 2 divide 2. They have or equals 2.5. They have 2.5 in T2R2 for control. This is the graph for Anthurium in week 1. Tomato in week 2. Tomato in week 2. Treatment 1 for wax commodity and treatment 2 for no wax or control. T1R1 they have 335 grams for wax. Computation is 1 times 5 plus 2 times 6 plus 3 times 6 divide 3 equals 32. 32 divide 3 equals 10.67 in treatment 1 T1R1 for wax. In T1R2 for control, we have 215 grams. Computation is 1 times 5 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6 divide 3 equals 11 for control. T2R1 for they have 260 grams for wax. 1 times 5 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 3 divide 3 equals 8. 8 in T2R1 for wax. In T2R2 they have 260 grams for control or no wax. Computation is 1 times 5 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6 divide 3 equals 16. 16 divide 3, we have 5.33 for T2R2 for no wax or control. The graph of tomato in week 2. Next. Cucumber in week 1. Computation. T1R1. They have 320 grams for wax. Computation is 1 times 7 divide 1 equals 7. In T2R2, they have 320 grams for control. 1 times 7 divide 1 equals 7. In T2R1, 485 grams for wax. 1.5 times 2 times 7 divide 2 equals 19. 19 divide 2, they have 9.5 for T2R1 for wax. In T2R2, they have 480 grams for control. They have 1 times 3 plus 2 times 5 divide 2 equals 13. 13 divide 2, they have 6.5 in T2R2 controlled or no wax. The graph of cucumber in week 1. Week 1? Week 2 ni. Tama. Week 2. The graph of cucumber in week 2. Sa anthurium na to, anthurium. Anthurium, week 2. Computation. T1R1. You have 320 grams equals 1 times 4 plus 2 times 2 divide 2 equals 4. In equals 4 in wax commodity. In T1R2, they have 320 grams. 1 times 4 plus 2 times 3 divide 2 equals 5 in controlled. In T2R1, they have 485 grams for wax commodity. 1 times 1 plus 2 times 3 divide 2 equals 3.5 in T2R1 for wax commodity. And T2R2, they have 480 grams controlled. Computation is 1 times 2 plus 2 times 3 divide 2 equals 4. 4 for controlled. They have graph of anthurium in week 2. The gray is T1R1, they have for wax, and T1R2, they have for controlled, and T2R1, they have for wax, and T2R2 for controlled. This is the documentation of our group's activity. That's all. Thank you.